Good evening and welcome back to PreciseAlgorithmTrading.com. It is Thursday, July 27th, 2023, and let's look at the markets. I'm going to start here just because I think it's an interesting chart. What you can do with the stuff we do, and this is Netflix, and I'm full disclosure, I didn't do this, but I just saw it, and I think it's a really good example of the hourly charts on this side, the daily charts on this side, the weekly charts on this side. Um, you can see here that the hourly chart gapped lower after earnings, I'm guessing, or during that situation. And it went from green to clearly red, and then it went down to red the whole time, went into green, changed into red, went into green, changed into, or, it's still green. But in the meantime, the daily is all red. So, I mean, this is like a perfect time to show you that, hey, and even making a trade like this after a gap lower takes a lot of guts because a lot of times gaps get filled. So you'd have to be willing to take the risk from 446 back up to 470, even if you're right, and then this thing could roll over and stay red. Gaps get filled typically, but they don't always. And so, anyways, that's just an example of where like this looks pretty perfect on the scheme of things to be able to. You could have taken a short trade somewhere in there. You could take a an option where you've got a defined amount of risk, and you could just write it lower for a short period of time. Take a lot of the uh, bulk of the trade or the meat of the trade in the middle, and then you get down to these like moving averages, and now would be the time to take it off. So that's just an example, and that's in the face of while we've had, we had a big move negative today, which started out really positive. So today is a great example of the market just shaking people up in both directions. So we'll start here with the S&P, and it's a I'm not going to say it's 100% of what I called last night, but let's get to the Dow, and we'll look at that chart. The S&P is a big red candle today. It went higher first, opened higher, closed much lower, and took back the price of 6 bars previous. And by the way, this is the type of a candlestick that won't get reversed in a day. So I'm not saying tomorrow is going to be lower. I'm just saying that we're not going to see a higher high, probably. Like I'm telling you, over 90% probably for a while. I mean, if this thing would reverse, it's going to be because this is a bull market that just can't stop. And then you'd have something like a bullish engulfing candlestick. But I'm telling you, that's probably not going to happen like by a big stretch. This probably will follow through into the weekend and will go lower, or it's going to pull up into here and get everybody messed up just into the weekend before it can go lower on Monday. So because we're possibly down here at a support zone on the daily chart, or I'm sorry, the hourly chart, which would be the reason why you could pull all the way up in. There's 6.5 hours in a trading day. So we could get a bar coming up for 6.5 hours, just enough to get everybody bullish again, because a lot of people don't watch charts that actually trade or invest in the markets. They just do it when it feels good. Well, we have stuff on our side to take advantage of that. So if they're buying into this, hopefully our bullish positions can still go higher, and then we can maybe get short, and then this thing can fall off. And I don't want to get way short because this is a giantly bullish market and has been for a long time. And I think it's going to reverse similarly at some point and go bullish again because I think we're on a longer term bull market for a while. So that's the S&P. Let's look at the Dow, which opened a lot higher. Where is Let's look at the YM and see if that gives me any different picture, even though, yeah, technology is going to mess with me. It's going to take a second to go over there, and man, I hate that it waits like this. There we go. Performance issue. Imagine that. So we did get a move higher and then a pullback. Well, I'm expecting it to still get up here to this 1272 extension. I think I talked about that last night. Let's go back to this chart. It's just cleaner, which is up here off the chart. So we have not hit this target that I drew in back here, and so that's why I think it won't. I mean, this is going to be a short-term sell-off, even though it's going to feel bad for a week or two, and then we can get. I mean, these are 52-week highs, and we should be looking on this chart for all-time highs. And I can do that. Do I really want to do this? Sure. If I right-click, I can say maximize sell. I can go out farther in time. Then I need to change this to, let's go 15 years back. And the all-time high of the Dow is 36,952.65. We're not that far away from it. So I don't think this is going to give up and die anytime soon. I think we're going to take out these highs and we're going to go higher. As crazy as that sounds in the economy that we have, I know all that, but I'm telling you, we are within spitting distance of the old highs, and this market's going to shake off everything about the economy, and we're going to go higher because, well, I don't care about the because, but I can tell you my opinion of the because is we've got all the things that are going on in the world. The economy's coming back to the United States. We got manufacturing going on like it never has. We got all the post-pandemic stuff. I think they're figuring out that they can that the inflation is sort of getting settled. But in the meantime, all this is going to come down crazy, and then it's going to get everybody gnashing their teeth, and we're going to go lower for a little bit before it just rips everybody's face off back to the upside. That's my take, and we will see. Uh, let's go to the Russell. Big bearish candlestick on the Russell. Same thing. You watch this gold line right here, actually this blue one, but we will stay above that line for the month, and we'll watch for capitulation. Where is the next capitulation zone? From my vantage point, it actually is down here at this blue line, but I think we'll probably reverse before we get there. Actually, it's right here. So I think we're going to reverse somewhere in the neighborhood of before 1928. All right, and then the NASDAQ, big bearish candlestick. We had a big move higher. That's a chance to get short. This is kind of what I'm talking about with the S&P. Yeah, where's the capitulation for this potentially? Down in this level right here, and then next down in this level right here. So oil went higher today by 1% or so. Now we're watching it for literally for the close on Monday to be above this gold line. Let's flip up stash CL. Well, that's interesting. The gold line is here for the actual barrel of oil price. This is going to be more important than the USO. So we got to watch that for a close. And I'm going to tell you, I think the odds are 50-50 still. looking at the USO, I think it's, yeah, look at that. It hasn't even really tried to close above the gold line, and we're getting close to that this time. I don't think it's going to do it. That's just my take, but I think we're reaching up here to get everybody frothy and excited about it, and it's going to pull back probably lower than you expect before it possibly launches the next time to actually do it. And if you look back at the other indexes and how they work, they all tend to do that. So they come up first and mess with it, get everybody excited that knows about that system, and then pulls you underwater. But we will watch that into Monday's close. And I'm going to tell you, Monday's going to be pretty definitive there. Bonds pulled back hard today. And so that is not a bullish trade. All right, flip over here. Bullish percent indexes. Run through them. The Dow down by 4% today. The NYA down by 0.25%. The transports unchanged at 100%. It's interesting. The NASDAQ up by 0.25%, or 0.5%, I'm sorry. The SPX minus 1.27%. The OEX up by 2.78%. And the NDX up by 4.23%. So that's something. When I was talking about the transports, which I didn't get into here, so here's the IYT, and I mean, this thing has been really up. Yesterday I was expecting a pretty gnarly day to the downside, and it gave me a gnarly day to the upside, and today it gave us a gnarly day to the downside with potential follow through on the hourly chart. So I think this is kind of a canary in the coal mine to watch, and if we get all the way down into this zone, then the rest of the markets are going to come down into that zone as well, and possibly beyond. All right, and then our automatic trading systems actually perked up today, which is great. I was about tired of them, and just being tired of them doesn't mean you can quit, because that's right when you quit is something when something like this happens. Nice big bullish move actually on the Dow, and again on the yearly chart. This is just a blip, but it's the kind of blip you need if this thing's going to pick back up again. I mean, it's got to do that to get going. This chart, this is the Russell. It didn't trade today. It hasn't really traded in a couple days. It's still what it looks like on the yearly basis. And I threw this in here so you can kind of see. It's more than kind of see, but the last time it traded was the 25th in there. Here, I'll do it this way. It was a negative trade of $1,300, and it's the 27th, so it didn't trade yesterday or today, and that's just fine. This one doesn't trade a lot, but ultimately it's got an upsloping equity curve, which is what this is. Every one of these trades, that's a win, that's a loss, that's a win, that's a loss, that's a win, that's a loss type of a situation. And you can look at them on this and count your trades and see what each one of them does. And at the end of the day, you're trying to have a system that gives you an uptrending equity curve. You want your equity to keep going up. And then here's the NASDAQ today, which that's a nice little bump here in the last few trades. But there's a big negative one there you can see. But I didn't pull those down just to look at the individual trades. But again, it looks fine in the longer term view here. But need to get this thing up and going. So this weekend I've got one more idea to plug in here that we'll see if it does anything. I've plugged a lot of things in trying to get this to be a better looking curve. It's a great looking curve, don't get me wrong, but if I can get rid of this, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that, and get rid of all that, and this thing just went from green dots to green dots to green dots. Not that it's you can ever get it like this, but eliminate these troughs. How awesome would that be? And that's what I'm trying to get to, because then this whole thing would be like that, and you just go up from there. And I got one more play to add in and see what happens. And actually, if you can reduce some of these trades, I mean, this is a ton of trades going on through this mess that you're paying commissions on. Trades through that, all these trades, I'm paying commissions while it's going down. But we want this to just go back up and keep going. I don't mind paying these commissions, but if I can eliminate some, that's just better. And that's what I'm going to work on this weekend. Eliminate some trades and just get rid of some of these bellies, especially this last one, or make it less deep. That's what I work on my off time, and so hope everybody has a great night, and hope everybody's going to be able to navigate this market. I hope I'm trying to help, and I hope it's helping you guys. Take care, guys. We'll see you.